OnePoint can really leverage the DPS talent they have on their team, some individual talent to try and instead overwhelm Angry Titans, who may currently have a couple of communication issues. Didn't look like it last week. They didn't look shaky at all, did of course not drop a single map, but they have put in a new shot caller in Fat. They've had to replace Luddy, and Luddy was incredibly vocal. I was talking to their coach Optidox, who says that Fat is also a very commanding shot caller, so he's slotting into this sort of command structure that Angry Titans have incredibly well. But will he be able to deal with the pressure of so many DPS, which is what OnePoint are currently showing with Yiquit's up on that Pharah. I imagine Angry Titans may well decide to swap over now over to a Winston 3-3 or just bring out their own DPS.
Could be. Also, we could see a little bit of Moira. There you go. Fox switching over to that pick. And Spectral actually jumping over to Widowmaker instead, trying to duel out Tech 36.
Instead, he's going to go for that short range hit scan. Well, I guess it's more mid-range. You start getting your damage drop off at about 25 meters, so you won't be able to effectively duel out with a Widow, but you can be a bit more of a pest to Yiquit's up in the sky. He is actually going to be able to combine potentially with the damage of AFOX, so that Bardic Raz and potentially the damage orb to maybe try and take out Yiquit's after seeing that concussive blast. Oh, not the entrance you want.
That was a headshot with a Discord orb on. That's a lot of damage. Polly is going to go down first, though. Not what you want to see. An AT just rush onto the point and manage to cap it right underneath the feet at one point. Got to be careful. They only managed to get 10%. Spectral already paying Liquid's a bit of a hello, welcome to Contenders on the McCree. Spectral's going to get jumped on by Colsty, but he doesn't seem to do all too much damage. Not when he has AFOX and Fat at his back, of course. AFOX, in fact, has already earned himself Coalescence.
Yeah, lacking a little bit of objective discipline there on the side of OnePoint, giving away so much space to Angry Titans, even after they got Lolsish so low with an entrance headshot from Tech 36. And it's worth noting as well, Tech 36 on that Widowmaker was quite an impressive pick because we usually know him as this Diva player, and he's one of the best Graviton Surge eaters in all of Europe, but I liked seeing him on the Widowmaker. He's gone back to that classic now. OnePoint are going to go over to the 3-3, and Angry Titans are going to try and meet them there, but they are going to keep AFOX on the Moira. He's got the Coalescence ready to go, so we want to take a quick engagement here so they can swap AFOX over.
Yeah, they need to win fast. There you go. They contest the point at just the last seconds. They can most use of the time. Also, they are just corralling OnePoint, of course, into that Coalescence beam, healing everybody.
Assassination attempt.
No. Damage orb as well. Someone help Scaler, please! No! You just let him die. Polly was trying to get to him, but he also goes down. Urki's going to find the kill, and a D-Mech onto Tech 36 will end the team fight. Angry Titans still controlling the point, 65% building up. That's a very sore situation for OnePoint right now.
Oh, Scaler just didn't take the same pathing as the rest of OnePoint. They actually went down that staircase by himself after the rest of OnePoint sort of backed up towards that central pillar, which means that he was caught out on his own. AFOX saw that the second with Coalescence and was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for the little cheeky assassinate here, and Polly used his armor pack elsewhere, so that was not available to save the Zenyatta. There's a lack of healing on demand when you are the Zenyatta.
AFOX is going to have another Coalescence extremely quickly. They need to use that to really leverage this fight. Scaler's already used that Transcendence to stop all that incoming fire, but the problem is Angry Titans are nearing that Graviton Surge. That's going to be their big win con in this fight, Harry. If Spectral can get it online. He's only 8% away, and look, Lolsish even has a Shadow online as well. They've got the ult advantage. It's going to get laid down as well. The Graviton Surge lands on the pillar. They got the beat going on too, but the problem is the rest of OnePoint are going to have all that armor to deal with as well. Lolsish went way too aggro into the grab, and Colsty ends up finding the kill.
Look at how he's using the damage orbs as well. You know, so there's enough healing right here, Jaws. He can just throw them out. A little bit of healing there.
I don't think there's enough healing to save them from Colsty, I don't think. Emil and Urki are going to fall. Colsty just picking up OnePoint, putting them on his back. They're going to be able to find the flip. AFOX is just going to die on the point now. Scaler does get a little bit of revenge, but it's 99 to 15%.
AFOX did use those damage orbs, like I pointed out before. He thought there'd be enough healing, but Urki and Fat caught out in places where they weren't supposed to be, did fall down. That meant there was not really enough sustain. An attempt from AFOX now to swap over to the Zenyatta, going to try and get that extra pressure onto Colsty. 30% more damage is what is needed, or is rather what is gained when the Discord Orb is attached to that Reinhardt, which means you cannot play Reinhardt in the same manner that you were doing so before against the Moira.
Does mean, though, AFOX is going to be behind on ult charge. You can see 30% to 100% for Scaler. Is he going to wait for the Graviton Surge? I don't think so. Colsty is going to find the nice pin on Lolsish, removing him from the team as well. Using that pressure from the Transcendence to get behind the Reinhardt and charge him onto your side of the map. Easy kill for Colsty. and the rest of Angry Titans are going to go for the reset.
Colsty really is playing quite impressively here. He did move back over to that coaching role, but has now pushed himself back to the forefront to cover for the exit of Latex from One.PoinT. Now Angry Titans, they're looking to be in maybe 1 or 2 fight territory and losing the first point here on Shrine of Nepal. They're going to need to try and leverage the tools that they have. The Graviton Surge and almost that Earth Shatter as well, but Colsty can pull the trigger a little bit faster here if his team can give the greater shield pressure onto Lolsish.
Yeah, Colsty has got that shatter. He's trying to bait everybody in, just push them onto this point, make sure they're contesting, then just punish the shield of Lolsish. Has got a shatter of his own, though. 3-man in the back line, but instantly you can see Lolsish jumping onto his back line. Transcendence coming through from Angry Titans to keep everybody alive. Colsty goes extremely low and finished off with a fire strike. Emil, meanwhile, though, kills off Eng and eats Yikwid's grab. Another free grab for Spectre as he throws that one downtown, finds Tech 36. A-Fox finishes him off as well. A rally to signal the victory, and AT will take Shrine.
Colsty there went for a real percentage play of an Earth Shatter, trying to make sure he could get Spectral, but Spectral was actually caught midway through a jump, which means that his momentum continued after he was stunned, and that put him behind one of the pillars and actually obfuscated incoming sightlines from the side of One.PoinT. Maybe you would have been able to get some long-range poke onto him from Scalar with those orbs of destruction, but because he was behind cover due to that continued momentum, meant he could survive and then make the counter-attack into One.PoinT, who'd spent a lot of their resources. And you know that Lolsish, the second he knows the Colsty's already used this Earth Shatter, he's like, woohoo, it's my turn. I can go forward, I can swing without worrying that I'm revealing my entire team to the potential of an Earth Shatter stun. So he just charges straight into Colsty, knowing that his team's right behind him. If Colsty goes for that mutual stun, he'll be rounded upon so quickly. Spectral, formerly only got, now on the May, just like he's actually going to go back to spawn, potentially.
That was a little interesting wall. Just trying to stop some of that incoming fire. You can see already the rockets hitting the spawn. We are seeing a little bit more of an Ash now. No Widowmaker. Going to have Ash up on the high ground. Yikwid's is going to be even further in the sky on the far.
Winston base 3-3 here for Angry Titans. They look like they want to just try and control the point maybe, or potentially round upon one unprepared member of One.PoinT, so just Scalar or Tech 36. Tech 36, if he's rounded upon, does need to use that coach gun to try and control Lolsish's movement. They're going to have to try and mitigate that on Angry Titans for a successful dive.
Oh, Tech 36 managed to find the first kill of this map. In A-Fox finds his head. Quite quick and clean, and now they've got a lack of healing for AT on the point, but they are still going to be able to cap regardless. It depends how long now One.PoinT have to take them out, because A-Fox can get to point so quickly, can use that Wraith form to gain some additional momentum and speed. And
look at how all of One.PoinT come from different angles, trying to overwhelm Angry Titans with this crossfire here. Spectral's going to fall so low.
There we go. Yikwid's with the early barrage, finds 2 kills. Should be the rest of AT going down. Resurrection onto Yikwid's as well, as he did end up falling. Doesn't seem to matter at all. Of course, you have a Mercy on your back. You can get back in the fight ASAP, and you can be ready for the next engagement from AT.
Lack of potential for consistent shielding here from Angry Titans, because they've only got Lolsish with that bubble barrier that Winston can put down. Only lasts for about 600 health, which isn't much against this much DPS, but One.PoinT are currently showing off. Colsty can also lock down the point now with that minefield. It's such a good ultimate on such a small point, can make any movement onto that point completely inviable.
Polly's got the EMP, though. You've got to be careful. Spectral gets hit with it, has to jump into the wall, but instantly those mines are laid down from Colsty, actually splitting the team up. Spectral is all alone on this point. Has only just got the Lucio for heals. Finally, the rest of his team do make it to him. Spectral does end up going down to Yikwid's. He can't look at all directions at once, Harry. It's just not possible. Lurky is also going to go down as well. And Yikwid's has earned himself another barrage that he can leverage in this fight. A Coalescence is going off from AT, so they'll be sustained on the point, but they can't sustain long enough, especially not against this barrage that can come out. And Tech 36 continuing his reign of terror on the high ground.
Great show of patience there from Yikwid's. He saw A-Fox actually channeling the Coalescence. That's the best time to use your barrage on the Moira, because they cannot fade away. You cannot use that ultimate, rather use that ability, or the ultimate is channeling. Instead, Yikwid's now may decide to use it to try and pin down either Spectral or Lolsish and immediately eliminate them. There will have been some ult-tracking going on. Polly isn't going to be around, won't be able to get those little scouts to try and determine incoming positioning, and a little bit of a surprise jump in here from Lolsish needs to be answered.
Oh, that was close. Colsty drops to sub 100 HP. What? Hang out. How did Colsty die? He was behind the wall. Exactly what he's saying to himself right now. 3 kills for Emil.
Behind the wall, guys.
Angry Titans are going to make that fight quick and clean and claim the point.
That's about as quick as it gets right there. Just like count on Emil. We call him the Gravedigger, and this is why he just digs so many. And also, it used to be his job. back before he went all in on Overwatch. And you know what? When you're as good as Emil is, I think going all in on Overwatch probably the best bet right here. Polly going to try and open this one up with other tank sort of like structure at 1 point have. Almost ready with the EMP.
I knew though, got to be a little bit more careful. Everybody's skirting inside the building. Uh-oh, Eng's caught out though, did get stunned up. Look, EMP came out, didn't hit Spectral. Is going to be able to leverage that flashbang if anybody comes close. Angry Titans still all hacked up, but no one's gone down just yet.
Really not a fan of that EMP. With Eng being down, there was no way to speed boost onto so many members of Angry Titans. They were just like there and hacked, like, guess we'll live. We'll just watch 1 point sort of like slowly waltz at us because Eng's dead. It was a good attempt from Yiquids to get that projected barrier onto Eng, but there was just too much damage. It broke the barrier, gave Yiquids some charge, but Eng still died. Now Spectral is going to be able to build up towards another Deadeye rather quickly.
Fanning the hammer into 5 people. That does a whole bunch of damage, and so does that Coalescence. Both of them going off at the same time. But Avox is finding a few more kills than 1 point. 88%. Nice stun actually onto Colsty. Cancels the Shatter, and now 92% for AT. Only 5% away from taking the map. 1 point need to get back to this point fast. Scalar ends up going down. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it. AT tick over to 100% and take Nepal 2-0.
And Avox making great use of that Coalescence there as a brawling ultimate, just delivering a little bit of an extra healing there, a little bit of extra damage over here, and picking up some final blows as well. And that's a perfectly timed flashbang as well to mitigate the incoming Earth Shatter from Colsty. I wasn't sure if it was going to hit a shield, but when you're up against a Winston, it's very likely we'll be able to get a solo Shatter onto like a Moira, especially channeling Coalescence, and a McCree, because neither of them have a huge amount of escapability unless you're going to get the most clutch of combat rolls.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, that's the best place to strike the Moira. Soon as she ults, because then she can't Wraith form away.
It's kind of like Barrage.
Exactly. She can't actually tell. Well, you can obviously tell, oh, he's going to Shatter now, but I can't use that shift. Guess I die, or like, hopefully my team protects me.
Just jump over it.
Desperation Shatter at the end of it all. Didn't quite secure it. AT take the map and a 1-0 up in the series. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. We'll be back with map number 2 very soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 coming on your screens very shortly. 2-0 on Nepal for AT. Pretty good start against One.PoinT, but it's going to be Blizzard World for our next map.
Blizzard World is going to be a little bit different. I wonder what we're going to be seeing coming out here. We have seen a couple of triple DPS compositions proffered by a couple of teams trying to overwhelm an opponent on that first point, but also, as always, in this meta, you can run the 3-3 if you want to, but thus far, One.PoinT seem to be saying, you know what, we're going to play by our own rules. We haven't really had a huge amount of practice. We won't be able to beat Angry Titans on a synergy versus synergy battle, because these guys, 4 of them have been together now for over a year.
That is one scary look at the schedule, I think, for One.PoinT. Going, okay, so who do we face this week? Oh, Angry Titans. Cool. Well, this is going to be a bit of an issue because, again, like you said, a whole year for this squad. Plus, they've not only been together for a long time, but they're a consistent second place team as well. It's been a little bit of the AT curse, in all honesty. We saw last year in Season 3 coming second place only just to Giganti, our eventual winners. And now One.PoinT were also a fantastic squad in Season 3 too. They did try and remake their core after they did try and remake their tank core after the French players left, but now they are kind of left in an odd situation where they've had to draft in Colsty. Hopefully they can bring it round on Blizzard World because they seem to be leveraging these DPS picks fairly well. Colsty jumping in with the Wrecking Ball was causing enough distractions for Yickwids to really go to town on Farah.
It's also worth noting that Yickwids does seem to be a consistent play here for One.PoinT. They do also have Mirror on the roster, but it seems like for now he's just going to be riding the bench while Yickwids just shows off what he can do. And I wonder if we will see Mirror come in other scenarios where you want to bring out maybe, I was going to say maybe a Farah, but Yickwids has played that as well. We've got very similar hero pools. Maybe Yickwids is actually a Mirror Smurf.
Maybe. Mirror has...
Have you ever seen them in the same lobby?
True.
By God.
Yeah, he's got it. It's a Smurf. Another one. Mirror has a billion Smurfs. It's
pretty much
terrifying.
all of them somehow in top 10 as well.
At one point, they were. It was devastating for the ladder. It's either him or Funny Astro. It's just him and Funny Astro populating the top 10 ladder most of the time. Or A10 now.
Tech, I wonder if he's going to swap back over onto the D.Va. There it is. One.PoinT just going to roll out that safe 3-3. Angry Titans are going to be mirroring it. Both of our teams have opted for Zenyatas as their flex support. That means a little bit less direct healing. The Orb of Harmony only gives 30 healing per second on its appointed target, but more damage can come out, especially onto those vulnerable main tanks, your Reinhardts.
Yeah, no more Moira, unfortunately. I do like seeing the Moira ult build up extraordinarily quickly when you're healing the tanks in the front line. Also just playing rather defensive here around the corner. Normally in Surlicky, you just stand between the boxes. Hopefully you don't get run over almost instantly and hope your Xayah bubbles you.
Please heal me. Polly right here going to take a little bit of poke. So is Colsty going to be getting the barrier from Yickwids. This could be the time now to move forward for Angry Titans collapse upon them.
Well, that was a hell of a boop onto Tech 36 there. Actually went into the background. Tech 36 in a lot of trouble as well. Got to be more careful than that though. Lolsish ends up in the back line of One.PoinT. He gets punished for it. Colsty, finding 2 kills as well, is going to find the charge and the kill onto Emil's mech. He's going to get quickly dispatched with. Even a Transcendence being used by Angry Titans. I don't know about that one, Fox. You're not going to be able to use that for the next fight. Plus, there were 3 people of your team already dead.
Like maybe he's swapping over to something else. Maybe he wants to go to the Ana or something for a more DPS-centric composition. Otherwise, I'm just going to call that one a fat finger. But Colsty here, evidently, retirement did not mellow him out at all. The kid's just pressing W for it. Well, not kid. I think Colsty's probably in his mid-20s. I don't know. Bang, also there. He really managed to reveal Lolsish with that great boop into the midst of One.PoinT. Lolsish got very aggressive there. The second he saw Yickwids use that projected barrier, thought he'd have the advantage with Spectral at his back, but the barrier wasn't there to stop him from having that movement control of fight. It's happened again.
Spectral has the Graviton Surge as well, waiting for that defense matrix to come out on Tech 36. Beat comes through regardless of that shatter actually hitting. Graviton Surge thrown out by One.PoinT. Another one as well has been thrown in. Self-destruct right in the back line. Colsty's going to be able to protect the rest of his team. Lolsish wasn't quite so lucky as Polly ended up finding the kill on him. Colsty is also just going to plant himself on the payload, say, come at me, AT, as they do wipe them for the second time.
Bit of unfortunate serendipity there for the side of Tech 36. He wanted to actually rush forward and use his self-destruct to combine with that Graviton Surge as you would usually expect. But he was actually caught in Spectral's Graviton Surge as he was boosting, meaning that boosters were cancelled because it cancels almost all movement cooldowns. That meant that he could not project that self-destruct forward and could not complete the combination, but now he has that ready to go. And Yickwids already halfway towards yet another Graviton Surge, so they're going to have that combination incredibly quickly compared to Emil, who has to build up to it again from 19%.
Spectral is 50% of the way towards his as well, so it might just be a grab-and-grab situation again. Losis has that shatter, so does Colsty. So about even tank ults right now. Take 36 with the bomb advantage over Emil though. There's the beat to engage for 1Point. As you can see, Losis is just trying to B-hop backwards, try and get on the payload. They successfully did so as well. That soundbar actually ran out. Shatter gets sent into the shield of Colsty. No shield bash in order to remove Losis' shield, and Take 36 ends up going down first. Losis charges into the back line, but Colsty yet again with the big boy wraparound manages to find the pin kill onto Fats. Both teams are going to get grabbed once more, but that's really going to be the end of it. No Diva bombs to be thrown in, and Spectral just gets carved a new one. Liquids is going to find the kill. Scalar also finding the EMP. That's going to be it. 1Point once again just running amok over AT. This is not what we expected.
Grav versus Grav, as you predicted. Emil's going to move on to the cart, but Jaws, it seems like Emil's decision-making isn't what it usually is today. He's making a couple of weird charges to reveal his team. Spectral going to go for that quick emote, just saying, execute me, I want to rejoin my team. There could have been potential for a stagger there, but 1Point, they're nice kids. They don't want any trouble, Jaws. They're just here behaving. They're playing some Overwatch, having a good spirit of the game.
So you have no right in calling people children. You're going to always look like you're 16, Harry. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
That could be a good thing in my later years.
True. 60 years old, I still look 16 though. Still getting ID'd everywhere, even if you are an OAP. Scalar is going to find Losis. Graviton Surge gets thrown in right on top of Urki. That was a one-man grab. Emil's just going to join him though. Quickly going for the quick respawn. 1Point just marching towards this final point. 3 minutes and 40 seconds as well to spare for them.
Angry Titans, however, that was such a quick wipe. They didn't really invest anything into it apart from Emil's self-destruct. That means they are going to have 4 ultimates ready to go. They're going to be able to sustain Lolsish so well with the 3 support ultimates. Lolsish cannot be pressured into using this shadow. He has to be able to pick his moment. He has to be able to outgame Colsty here. Colsty's going to have far less support unless Eng can build up to his Sandbar incredibly quickly. Look at that. Already a boop onto Lolsish, trying to pressure him out, Jaws, force him to make the wrong decisions.
Losis has a shadow, and Colsty knows that he's backing off. That shield going so low. Can't afford to take a fight right now. The shadow does land. Another one is going to fall through, though. Colsty isn't going to hit too many people. Lolsish finally landing that shadow, at least on one person. You managed to take out Polly in that situation. There's not really going to be anything that Lolsish has to be scared of after that.
Yeah, beautiful play there, especially from Spectral. He knew when Lolsish would be at the most vulnerable, and Colsty's also seeming to get a rhythm for Lolsish. Knows when he'd be able to hit that shadow, but he did not expect for the projected barrier to come through. And of course, any sort of shielding, even if it's applied by Azaya, will stop the progression of the cone of effect of Earth Shadow.
Spectral has the grab. Wants to get down off high ground. It can be very easy to telegraph when you're going to grab. If you're in amongst all these bodies, it's a bit more difficult to look at the animations of the Zarya. Both sound barriers have been used. Colsty's getting around a bomb. There's the Graviton Surge launched downtown. Both self-destructs landing on top as well. You've got to be careful if you're 1Point, but another projector barrier comes out. This time on the side of Liquids to save the rest of his team. A self-destruct thrown in by Tech 36 as well. Finds 2 kills. Angry Titan's just getting destroyed. A beautiful couch shadow as well. What is happening? 1Point run over AT in complete Blizzard world.
Well, okay, history lesson. Colsty was once one of the premier main tanks in the entirety of Europe on a tank called Movistar Riders, which featured Swoosh and Logix and Fincy and a lot of people that went to Overwatch League. And he's definitely seeming to find his rhythm again as to what it means to be a main tank in Europe, where if you're a mediocre main tank in Europe, you're a bad main tank. Our standards are very high when it comes to these Winstons and these Rhines. And it seems like Colsty is trying to refine that standard right now when he really is getting a good read onto Lolsish. I'd like to see Lolsish sort of vary up his playstyle a little bit during this attack to try and put Colsty off guard. Have Colsty think, hey, you think you got me figured out? Well, here's a bam, shatter. Didn't expect that, did you?
You'd hope so.
It's like he just rolled out with shatter. Don't even know how he charged her.
What? He spawned with shatter? How? How is he doing this? AT on the offense now, 1Point on the defense, of course. Going to roll out on the safe pick with the Zenyatta as the flex support, I mentioned before. At 1Point, their win conditions really have been Colsty just landing these humongous shatters, but they're also enabling him so much as well. There's been a few times where he's landed behind Angry Titans. Not like they were unaware of that as a fact, but it felt like some of the time Lolsish was like, if you need to take care of him, you need to kill him ASAP. But then he's also getting back up from Liquids to shield him as he finds a charge target. And when he does, he's catching a key member from AT that can get insta-killed, like Fat, like Urki.
Excellent tracking there from our observers. Get him a little dwarven hammer rocking away. OnePoint, they have actually been very good in coalescing with their target calling. It seemed like after Emil used his self-destruct, even though everyone was caught in the grab and he did have Transcenders to keep him healthy, that small Baby Diva was still taken out so quickly by the combined forces of OnePoint. So great instant pick there from them.
And he's still playing the corner. Coasty playing it like Losish did, a little bit more passively. AT looking maybe for the switcheroo. That's exactly what they're going to do. So now Coasty's put on a back foot. Losish can use this cover, and Coasty just permanently holding shield. Doesn't want to mess with Urki, who runs straight through him. Spectral's also going to find the kill onto Scalar, and Losish earning himself a shatter already. Didn't once let up on the M1. Angry Titan's going to find a very, very quick cap, just like OnePoint did earlier on.
And that was such a smart rotation there from Angry Titans. OnePoint were not prepared at all. And the second you saw Loltish come around the corner, you actually saw him dip into that corner where you usually see Colsty rotate in and out of, because he didn't want Colsty to be able to control that particular area so that he could alleviate any shield pressure onto himself by using the physical map as cover instead. So that was great to claim that territory, force Colsty out into the open, and then all he could do was hold up his shield or swing. That meant a huge amount of damage was coming through there. It's going to be an early engagement here from OnePoint. Don't want to give away any space for free, but look at this. Colsty, once again, wants to play this corner. Watch Loltish try and claim it!
From the top rope, he actually gets stunned up. That animation gets elongated.
Man.
There's no way you're not going to shield bash that. Graviton Surge gets thrown in by Angry Titans. A Flame Strike finds the kill onto Tech 36's mech. We'll forgive you, Losish, is what AT are saying right now. It's fine. Spectral hit a 5-man grab, and the rest of the team are going to clean up.
Pollitt want a cracker. Pollitt want a shield bash today. Losish already 80% of the way towards that newest ultimate. I wonder if at OnePoint will have kept track of that effectively. I imagine Angry Titans, in fact, will very much know Yiquid has the Graviton Surge ready to go, and he's got a big advantage over Spectral here. Avox and Fab, they need to make sure they don't layer the support ultimates. They need to stagger them, one after the other, potentially, if they're going to use both to effectively make the most use of the resource. If they both use this on Yiquid's grab, they'll be easily cleaned up by Colsty's Shatter.
Well, they have that beat advantage too, because Eng had to use his in the last fight. Scalar still has that shadow, of course. Losish gets booped into the enemy team. A Transcendence is going off at the side of AT, and they layered them. They have to win the fight now, or it's pretty much done and over with. The Graviton Surge gets thrown in by OnePoint, but a perfect counter shatter comes through from Losish as they are all pinned up. Coasty's getting aggressed on. That ally shield now fading away as he fades into the distance as well. Fat is going to take him out, and the rest of Angry Titans are going to deliver this second point.
Well, I said that they'd lose if they layered those ultimates, and by all rights, they should have done so, but Lolsish said, you know what, I messed up my last shadow, so let me just, guys, just leave it to me.
Retribution.
I'm gonna redeem myself. I'm going to lay them all down, I'm going to take them all out, and that managed to clutch out the entirety of that fight. Yiquid's now behind again on grab charge, but Colsty can be very aggressive here. Knows Lolsish only going to be about halfway towards that next shadow. He's going to have the commanding presence, moving forward, pressing M1, swinging away.
Tech 36 a little bit caught out. You can see Lolsish there segregating the rest of his team. Wants to make sure there's no heals going off. Tech 36 actually forced the mech out. What is this? Coasty hitting 4-man in the shadow is going to dash forward, but that Transcendence to the last brief moment from Avox is going to keep everybody alive. A Graviton Surge as well has been thrown onto OnePoint. And the shatter! Losish with 5 men down. OnePoint go back to spawn, and AT continue their push.
It's rare knowledge, Jaws, but that hole in the middle of this castle right here, that was formed by Lolsish's Earth Shatters. He cracked the Earth asunder so many times here that is just a remnant of his power. And now he's going to have to build up to yet another Earth Shatter. Yiquid's is going to be able to help Colsty to build this next one by giving him a good old grab to swing into. But Spectral, he's on the flank. He's got some energy to play with as well. He could get caught out here, but turn around!
Please, someone deal with Spectral. He's 100% charged. He's distracted them long enough. That grab went off and there was no follow-up. Coasty finds the pin on Losish, which might just seal the deal. AT playing a little bit more scared now. They have to back off. They've got time to do so, of course, as they have 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
And not a huge amount of investment here from the side of OnePoint. Yiquid's already halfway towards his next Graviton Surge, and Spectral's going to die before he can get that. He will actually get the tick over from a passive ultimate charge. And now, this could be a very messy battle coming forward, Jaws, but here, crucially, OnePoint will have the advantage in terms of the spawns that they have. It's far closer to them to get back to that car after they die compared to Angry Titans, who are going to spawn so far away. The spawn of OnePoint is so close, it's basically ad nascent. It's so unbelievably short a distance for people to move. It could be that attrition is everything.
You can get into the fight rather quickly, even from spawn door almost. There's the shadow from Coasty. Finds 3 people, and Losish just trying to protect the rest of his team, but they were already dead. Ultish charges in, tries to find the miracle pin to get some extra ult charge, but the rest of them are going to get cleaned up. They got one more fight, really, to find an advantageous time bank. 1 point, remember, they have 2 minutes and 4 seconds, of course, but look at the ult bank that AT have acquired.
It's going to be quite a hefty one. 5 ultimates almost ready to go, 6 if Lolsish can hit just a couple of hits with that Fire Strike. Eng staying up high at the moment, does not want to be a victim of some incoming fire, whether it's from a Graviton Surge or an Earth Shadow. When you see these Lucio's wall riding, it can be to get drops onto people, but it can also be to make sure that they're out of the effective range of ultimates, just like this.
Graviton Surge is thrown in, that Graviton Surge on top as well. Emil just by detonating them all. Perfect barrier again from Yiquit, but that Shadow can't be countered. The bomb comes in from 1 point as well to make sure Angry Titans cannot collapse on the fallen members of 1 point. Still, the beat is not available, which is going to be an issue for our 1 point right now. Angry Titans are moving forward. Spectral gets stunned up, and they are still slow, methodical play from AT.
Yeah, Lolsish needs to be able to move forward right here. He's trying to challenge out the cart, but Colty's going to be ready with that Shadow in just a second, and Polly can move everyone forward with the rally. The stacking armor is going to make them incredibly resilient. Scalar is so far ahead as well, and building up this strat, so that can mean everyone surges forward and overwhelms a very, very poorly conditioned
This
Lolsish.
might tip the scales. The grab's thrown in, but Scalar already has the Transcendence online. There's no bomb to counter with it, so Angry Titans have to respond. They use the rally and the Transcendence of their own to push their way in. Coasty's Shatter gets completely blocked. That one doesn't though. Lolsish hits 3 people, but they get caught up in the grab, and Aim comes in with a clutch sound barrier.
I told you about attrition, Jaws. They're just coming back so quickly, and now they're going to be overwhelming these dregs of Angry Titans who cannot stay in the fight for long. And now they're losing a huge amount of those resources that are built up to. Spectral's building grabs at a phenomenal rate, but time is slipping away. No matter how fast you build up that charge, seconds will inexorably leave your grasp. 1 point. Ready. They have themselves almost a Transcendence. They have themselves a very good Earth Shadow as well. He can be so aggressive onto Lolsish. He's only 13% of the way there.
Fat's going to use that Beach to engage. That Shadow's going to hit only one, and it's Emil. Graviton Surge can't be combo with that self-destruct. He doesn't find anything, but it leaves AT in a corner. Lolsish was completely alone and gets killed off by Coasty. AT now have one more fight to secure this map, or it will be 1 point.
And it's not going to be hugely easy for Angry Titans. They are going to have the combo that we talk about all the time. The Graviton Surge into the self-destruct, they're going to have to disable Coasty's shield and Yiquit's shields and Polly's shields as well. They need to force Yiquit to use these bubbles in a haphazard manner. And you can see he's already put one on himself. That's one down if you try and take the early engagement, and there it is.
Okay, Grav gets thrown in. 2 people are caught up. The shield is removed. The self-destruct finds one. It's only Polly, but it could be enough. Coasty has to play more safe now. He actually gets booed back into the rest of Angry Titans and pushed off almost the edge of the map. Urki finds the kill as a Transcendence surges for AT forwards.
And now AT, they can't win the map, Jaws, but they can try to complete this and get themselves the draw. The Earth Shadow's ready to slam. He's
Again, up in the air, landed straight on top of Tech 36. He ends up falling. A Graviton Surge is thrown in by 1 point to try and pin them towards the payload. There's no way they can get back as 6 now. Aim goes down as well, but 1 point did enough.
Well, I talked about it just in that last fight there. There's no way that Angry Titans can now win this map. The best they can handle, Jaws, is a draw because of a time bank available for the side of 1 point. 2 minutes and 4 seconds to claim but a singular tick of point A on Blizzard World, and that will give them a map victory that I would argue very few of us expect. At least Jaws and I were very much of the opinion that Angry Titans were going to be incredibly strong in this matchup. And at 1 point, with their reasonably new team, 2 people who literally joined the team in the case of Colsty about 12 hours ago, are working together in such a fantastic way. 3-3 versus 3-3, it's all about synergy, and for weaker, synergy often means weaker 3-3 teams. But they're holding a candle to Angry Titans, who basically popularized tank play in Europe. If we don't count like Ninjas in Pajamas, or, well, they then became Giganti. They were very much like one of the first 3 tank teams, but Angry Titans, in 2018, Season 1, they sort of popularized the quad tank. Then they popularized 3-3. They showed that tank play was incredibly strong, and then the rest of the world followed suit after the lead that had been shown.
Angry Titans needs a leader right now. They need to defend for 2 minutes. And remember what happened last time, for both sides, in fact. Almost instantaneous cap. 1 fight, 1 win, and the payload got moving. But this time, 1 point only need 33%.
And we'll have to see if Costi can claim that territory away from Lulsish again. It's what Lulsish did, the old switcheroo around the side. That rotation caught Costi off guard, made sure he was stuck out in the open. Both these Reinhardts want to play in these little cubbies. You can see that sprayed box right there. That's going to be the best friend of Lulsish. But straight away, Costi trying to claim this, but a quick Discord up will send him on his way.
Yeah, AFOX actually charging a lot of orbs up. Want to hit the tanks as much as they can, especially when the shield goes down and you're not charging the Xayah, or she is going to be 100% most of the time anyway. It's 3-3 after all. Just pressure onto Costi's shield. That's exactly what AT are looking for right now.
Here they are. Costi trying to plan this move. He's got the Harmony Orb, does not have a Discord just yet. It cannot be applied to him if he has his shield up. He is losing a huge amount of health already, though. Going to have to demand that armor pack to keep him nice and healed. Hasn't got the projected barrier yet. They're going to wait to see if Lulsish is applied any resources from the side of Angry Titans. As AFOX is playing incredibly close to Lulsish at the moment. Wants to be able to lay down that short-range damage. Just a cheeky right click could be caught out. No, there he goes!
Oh, the 1-point switcheroo this time around. The beat is going to get met with the Transcendence from Scalar. The Shatter comes through. That grab as well. Costi finds the pin onto Fat. Lulsish falls as well. It doesn't matter how much time they've had together. Angry Titans are going to go down. Blizzard World is taken by 1-point.
AFOX took a risk, but the Sly Fox not quite as sly as he thought. The Hunters of 1-point, Vinny the Gangster, managed to catch out AFOX. And that's just when you get that first pick and you do know that you have the advantage when it comes to both the Harmony Orbs of Transcendence, Orbs of Destruction, and most importantly, the Orb of Discord on the enemy main tank. That's when you are in one of the best scenarios to win out that 3-3, and you can't make that risky pick. You can peek them, but you can't make the commute out because you won't be able to get back as fast, and you know that they're just going to speed on you. I don't understand the decision-making that happened there, but still, 1-point will even us up, so congratulations to them, showing off some real prowess and potential for these heroes. These players.
These players. Well, they are
heroes to us.
Exactly. And this is one thing we touched at the start of the day was, how is this team gonna function against one of the best tank teams in EU when they've had so little time to actually get together and play and scrim? Like Costi, of course, coming from the coaching role, stepping in as the main tank, has fitted in like a piece in a puzzle, just perfectly almost. He's outplaying Lulsish when it comes to the shield game and the shatter game as well.
And when it comes to doing those kinds of scrims and becoming the best that you can be, don't forget, guys, you can join the Path to Pro. Open Division signups are now open. ! Open Division, no space in the chat to get your details. Sign up and we may be shouting your name next season.
That's very... that was so infomercial. Oh my goodness.
I tried, Jules, I tried.
I know you do. I've seen you in the mirror practicing that line over and over again.
And his name is Shax.
His name. Wow, that's a throwback and a half.
Big throwbacks.
His throwbacks, a few little highlights as well. And this was the game-winning play from 1-point, of course. They managed to just catch out instantly the Zen. And that's the problem. If you're not listening out for these small voice lines coming through from Lucio or the small amper up sign, you're going to get caught out like that. As soon as you see a support off to the side, no way near his main tank or near his brig for that matter, you're going to get run down. And that's pretty much it. Once one person dies in the 3-3, 90% of the time, your team is going to die as well.
Yeah, and when the comms are messy, which could often be the case with bringing in new shot callers like Fat or having a meal in the mix as well for target calling, that's when you can miss those small sound cues like the Amp It Up, which is a very distinct sound cue, but it's not exactly loud.
Exactly that. Right, we're going to shut up for a little bit. We're not going to be that loud. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Map number 3 on your screens very soon.